There were several reasons why Metro Water Recovery decided to build the Northern Treatment Plant. First, the service area and service population served by Metro was growing and was projected to continue growing. Second, Metro's current plant, the Robert W. Height Treatment Facility, did not have room for significant expansion. And then lastly, the Brighton Gulch lift station was at capacity and needed serious renovations and expansion. Metro did a study, looked at many different options and several different site locations, and determined that a regional treatment facility in Brighton was the best approach. Design for the Northern Treatment Plant started back in early 2011. And then in August 2011, we had a groundbreaking ceremony on site. That was a big day. Basically, the idea and plan had now become reality, and construction of the Northern Treatment Plant began in December of 2012.
Both the construction of the NTP and the South Platte Interceptor were built at the same time. The idea being that when the NTP was finished, we'd be ready to accept flows from all the connectors that were tying into the South Platte Interceptor.
Construction was ongoing. In September of 2013, there was significant rainfall and it flooded the construction of the Northern Treatment Plant.
The 2013 flood, it had a major impact on this project. It was not the river, it was localized flooding that was running off through the ditch, and it happened to breach a channel where the influent pipe was being installed. And so it destroyed all that, and all of that work had to be taken out and redone. I was hired before construction even started, and then I was allowed to bring staff on more than a year before flows so that they were here for all of the vendor provided training, but also we set up a lot of what if scenarios. It was real life scenarios minus the biology. And so it was very educational for all the staff. And one of my goals as the leader of this plant was to be permit compliant when the flow first left the facility. You have a grace period in regulations, and I told them we didn't need it. We could meet it day one, and we were successful in that.
The program overall cost about $400 million, and construction of the Northern Treatment Plant was around $250 million.
The NTP first received flows in October of 2016. And most of those flows came from Thornton, and that was from the decommissioning of Brighton Gulch lift station.
The day that we were able to receive flows, it was just a cool moment. Everybody was working together. So excited to finally put this place into service that we'd been working on for 4 years.
NTP was designed as built for 28.8 MGD, million gallons per day, and at startup we only received about 4.5, so that's a small fraction of the flow. We had to make modifications to pumps in particular. We had to run them in different ways. We had to tune down the variable frequency drives, the VFDs, and we also utilized some recirculation lines. We also lived through COVID, so that was a big challenge for us as a plant. You know, we couldn't work remote as operators and mechanics and electricians here. So we had to figure out a way to keep everybody safe and still run the facilities through COVID.
The Second Creek Interceptor was constructed to increase our service area in the Northeast metro region. The total project cost of over $170 million. The project was completed in 2025, and the resulting flow increase doubled the amount of treatment at the NTP facility.
In most wastewater plants, you just see normal population growth, but at the Northern Treatment Plant here, we get slugs of new flow. We have new connectors tie in, so new municipalities. The first big one was the city of Brighton tied on completely, and so that was a big challenge to where you receive double the flow overnight, essentially. We are in the progress of an NTP-specific facility plan, so that is going to be planning our future up through 20 years and sometimes beyond, looking at what future permit limits look like, what infrastructure needs to be replaced, and how do we meet lower permit limits with higher flows moving into the future and stay efficient and clean and providing wonderful water for our community.
Part of Metro's mission to preserve the environment and be stewards of the South Platte River. So the Northern Treatment Plant is just continuing that legacy from the planning to the design and then the construction and implementation, just to see that come full circle and see how we're continuing to treat that water and return it to the environment for future use. It's just a pretty cool feeling, pretty cool sight to see.